Alright, how y'all doing? It's that time. It's pickups time. November pickups. There would have been quite a bit in November pickups. But November is the month where all of my orders have been separated. So I've waited and waited and waited. I've waited as long as I can. But if I wait any more, it's going to end up turning into November pickups 2025. So what we got is what we got, and everything else will just get bundled into December's pickups. And it looks like there's going to be quite a bit. But what we've got has a bit of a theme. SEGA Saturn themed. It's the 30th anniversary of the Japanese release of the Saturn. The PAL region release isn't until next year, but we'll just completely gloss over that. I want to start off with some accessories. Retro bit, SEGA Saturn theme controllers. I wanted these controllers. One, it feels really wrong to play Saturn and Mega Drive games on a control pad that isn't 6-button. So if you're using a standard control pad, just things feel weird. Two, these pair up with an actual SEGA Saturn because they come with two dongles. One for your standard devices, computers, phones, tablets, whatevers. And then one is an actual Saturn dongle to allow you to play games with a wireless pad on your actual Saturn, which is pretty cool. Thirdly, twin sticks. I wanted this twin stick pad to be the pad I used for everything from this point moving on. Wanted? Yeah. Is it bad? No. It decided to take a swim in an entire cup of coffee. So the pad still works, I've just got to clean it up. That's how we've got our theme. That's what I wanted to go for. I love SEGA Saturn. So I picked up a Retroid Pocket Mini. This thing is fantastic. It's not a review. This is not a review. We will not go over specs or anything. This is a really nice little Android-based emulator. Standard controls. So you've got your sticks, your face, you know, your triggery stuff, your bumpery stuff, some powery, volumey, buttony stuff. You know, a memory card slot, a headphone port, fantastic, because you're going to need that. Your speakers are passable, but they're not great. And you've got a USB-C port, and that gives you charging, data, and video out. 1080p video out, but it is in 4:3, which is the same as the device's screen aspect ratio. But let's be fair, you're most likely to be playing 4:3 content on this thing anyway. That's not to say that 16:9 wouldn't have been nice. You could have played one of the games that did actually play in 16:9 back then. And yes, I am aware that Sword of Mana isn't a 16:9 game. It's a Game Boy Advance game. But still, screen real estate would be improved with 16:9 output. Or you could have used it for capture. It's always better to remove than try to add on later. But as it stands, 4:3. If you want 16:9, there's the Retroid Pocket 5. But that is a bigger handheld than this. And it's not Saturn themed either. Alright, hold up. Good thing it takes so long for me to upload anything. There has been a change. I just got a notification on my handheld to say there is an update. As part of the update, you've got some standard bug fixes, but you also have 16:9 output over the USB-C port. So I've installed the update, gone into the Retroid Pocket settings. There's a little app, and then under TV out, you change your aspect ratio. Change it to 16:9. You noticed that the display has changed a little bit. It's kind of like cropped on the top and the bottom. Plug it into your telly. That goes full screen. If you look at Sword of Mana now, you actually get a little bit more screen real estate. However, this doesn't switch automatically. When you play in 16:9 mode, when you're not connected up to a telly, obviously where it is kind of cropped top and bottom or squished top and bottom, it's going to look weird playing games on the handheld mode. But if you want 16:9 out on your TV, you got to change a few settings, but the option is there. With that said, back to where I left you. And funny enough, the rest of what I said still works. So I've got video out. It's not ideal, but it does the job. How do I get the video out of it from that USB port? I'm glad you asked. I'm getting to it. Picked up with it, optional extra, should be noted, a Retroid Pocket dock. So USB-C dock has 4 USB-A ports, so you can plug in controllers, dongles and all that. See? Controllers with dongles. Notice how I talk about how weird it is to play a Saturn game on standard controllers, show you 6-button controllers, and then show you a handheld with a standard layout. That's what the dock's for. USB-C for power, HDMI, and an Ethernet connection. To go with the dock, I picked up a Retroid Pocket charger. It's cheap and cheerful. It doesn't list on the website that it comes with any adapters. It's an American charger. But I ordered to the UK and they did bundle in a travel charger so that I could actually use it here. Nothing fancy. USB-A port, USB-C port, plug it into the Retroid Pocket dock, job done. When I'm done playing, dock the device, charge, nailed it. And I bought a Retroid Pocket case. It's a case. It's actually quite a nice case, but it's a case. Right, so all that fluff out the way. I said it's an emulation device, Saturn themed. What can you do with this thing? You can play retro games in an assortment of emulators. I mostly use RetroArch. Games from Atari all the way up to and including Sega Dreamcast. You will likely hear people say this thing can play PS2 and GameCube. It can, but I would consider those sweet little bonuses, because whilst it can play games from those platforms, it may not play the game that you want very well. So let's say, for example, it plays 60% of the PlayStation 2 library. Someone tells you it plays PlayStation 2, you buy one, and then the game you want to play is in the 40% that doesn't run very well. I had been told this thing plays most GameCube games, and that it was quite difficult to find a game that didn't run smoothly. The first 2 games I tried weren't particularly happy. That said, there are tons of games that do run just fine. As I said, consider those sweet little bonuses, but don't buy it expecting to play PS2 and GameCube. Everything else before it, though, absolutely brilliant in my experience. Even though it's only got standard face buttons, not 6-button, and it's Saturn themed. Actually, just a last quick note on performance. The device does have multiple performance profiles. If your game doesn't run properly in the standard or middle profile, you're probably not going to get any better on the higher profile. If you're having flaky issues on low, medium, high's not going to help you. And high, frankly, should be an absolute last resort, even though it probably wouldn't help you because the fan noise is obnoxious. When you put it into high performance mode, the fan kicks up and you can hear it from the other side of a room. I see people doing button tests like, dude, these are some clacky buttons. This is going to annoy people. I wouldn't worry about button noise on this thing, given the fan noise when you put it into performance mode. Keep it in low or medium, and you're good to go. To be fair, most things will run in low, medium. You don't have to worry about it. As I say, you put it into high. If it doesn't run on low, medium, it probably ain't going to run in high mode either. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. It's obnoxious. But I think that's it. I think that's pretty much everything. A bit long-winded. a bit hyper-focused in the one area, but frankly, really, honestly, it really is a brilliant little device. I was expecting a wee bit more, but December is going to be the month of all the things. But that could be a difficult one, man, because it's going to be Christmas time, and pretty much as everything comes in through the door, it's going to have to go into a cupboard because we're going to be prepping for the Christmas holidays, and you can't have all the extra stuff just stacking because none of this stuff is for Christmas. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's everything. That's November out of the way. So let's see how the December goes, the end of the year, and I'll see you in the next one.